Hello guys, then we're back to the second episode of the Financial Fallout Diary. So it's been 1 week approximately since the last time, and today it's the 15th of February. So we're gonna go over a few things today, and the first of all I want to talk to you is still with the silver price. Because I think that the silver price is something that will disrupt the market, because it's getting hit from different sides. You have the one problem with it is that you have not enough of it. So the demand for silver is much bigger than the available silver, basically. So and we are relying on a lot of new technologies. And these technologies really need silver. So when you have not enough silver, you will have problems in the economy, and this will see all over. So the silver price has been up and down, up and down, up and down. And as Friday, it closed on $77 an ounce. So it's a little bit back, then a little bit lower than last time. So we see what will happen. It has been up to $121 ounce as the highest. So we will see what's happened about that. So still I have been exposed to the silver mining markets a lot. So our silver mining funds has been going really good. So now we are taking a lot of our monies, like 40-50% of our holdings, of the Swedish index funds, the Global Index Fund with the ESG filter. Because with the Swedish ESG filter, you have this problem that you have no money in, like, you have not money in the weapons, in the tobaccos, and in the oil and energy industry. And this is the sectors that always go good during a crisis. So I want to be exposed to that. So that's why I need to sell my Swedish index funds, and I need to buy the international funds, the ETFs. So we're gonna buy and fund an ETF called SPYI, I think, and it's like 99% of the market, and a different fund called WEBN that is approximately 90% of the market. So we will see what's going to be of that. So we are starting this process. So we have started to transferring the money this week, and I think we'll be completely done to the next week, and then we will see what will happen. I think going forward in this stock market crash, I think this will have a really big impact. So, and also I want to talk about the big problem. This is what I see in the system. So the reason I believe that we are in a problem, economic problem in Sweden, is really basically a few things. One thing is that all of the world we stop having sex, and we have no more children. And this was a problem for like 5 decades ago. We started to have this problem, but it take a little while before this problem works through the system. And now we are at the ending of this, so we will start seeing the problem of declining populations. So in Sweden we have used this, we have solved this problem by having a big immigration, really big immigration. In like, you know, we like 20-30% of Swedish populations is not native Swedish anymore, and I've seen this prognosis that is like 50%. Non-Swedish in about 10 to 20 years. So we will see what will be happen. But this is the solutions from our end, that we have too few kids, so we imported workers from other countries. And yeah, this have a different problem with it. So this was not a good thing to do, but here we are. So then I think what will happen is that when the boomers generation started to retire, the end of the boomers generation now starts to retire, we will see a big drop-off of the labor force. And I think what we will see in this is I think we will see some kind of drop in the workforce. So you see the productivity will go down. And when the productivity will go down, prices will go up. And this will be a big problem, because when prices go up, then the boomers, pensioners need to sell more of their assets to buy less of the stuff. And then you get more inflation, and more inflation get the pensioners to sell more of their assets to buy more of the stuff, and you are in a spiral. So I think we will have a great wealth transfer between the older generation, the boomers, and the younger generations. And we will see this moving forward. I also think that this will be a big problem, not only for the economic system, but for the pensionaries, because the pensioner people, they go around and think like, I have this big house, it's worth a lot of money, I have this good assets on the stock market, and it's been working for me the last 50-60 years. So this will like work the same going forward. But I think this time it will not go the same, because I think the fundamentals is that young people need to get more paid to survive. They need to get more money to start their own families, and the only way to take this productivity cost from today is from the pensionaries. So basically the younger people will say, I will not work if you don't pay me more, and the pensioners will need to pay them more, and this will be inflationary, and at the same time assets will drop in value. So I think this is a really hard time to actually invest your way out of. I think the best way to do something in this is to like work on yourself, get your like skills up to work in the real life, because I think that going forward, trade skills will be the most valuable assets. Basically, I think we will go from a specialized economy, because Sweden is a really specialized economy. We import a lot of stuff and we export a lot of stuff. So we're really good at a few things, like making some steels and stuff like this. We're really good in this, we export, and then we import other specialties. And I think now when the US doesn't have enough money, they need to downsize their navy. And when they're downsizing their navy, then I think the global trade will basically just halt. And when the global trade gets to problem, you cannot be a specialized economy anymore. Then you need to be a generalized economy. And this we had done before, so this is no new. Like all societies before this has worked like this, so it will probably be totally fine. But during the process to get there, I think we will get through a lot of turbulence. So we will see. We will see what to do with this. And another thing that we have a really big problem in Sweden is the infrastructure. So basically, when my parents, when they were getting born in the 60s and the 70s, their parents were like building up the Swedish society. So all the infrastructure, all the roads, all the pipes, all the electricity, all the wiring are from like the 60s and 70s. And this started to break. You started to need to replace this. So in Sweden we had this combined problem then. We need more workers to replace a really old infrastructure system. And at the same time we have more dependency persons, so more pensionaries. So the working populations need to like fix more stuff. They need to take care of more people, and they need to do this with less people available. So this would be a big crunching effect going forward. This is Europe, and if I understand this correct, Europe is like, it's like 10 years something, 10-20 years before US. So I think you in the US you have a really good opportunity to just watch it and watch how we try to solve this. And you can take like what's work and use it in your country, and what's not working, that's you can just forget about this instead. So you don't need to do the same mistakes as we are doing. And basically the electric system. So Sweden, a lot of our big like economics wonders is that we had really cheap power. So we have the mountains up in the north, and we did a lot of hydroelectric plants. And in the south, when it's like the flatlands, there we have a lot of nuclear power plants. And this worked for a long time. And in the cities, we had something called like heat power plants. So during winter, Sweden gets really cold, and then we need a lot of heat. And then we have something called like faraway heat. So all the houses are connected to like one big furnace. So they pump the hot water around the city just to heat all of the houses. And this way you also did steam, and with steam you can do electricity. So this was basically a really good time. So in Sweden during winter we had a high peak demand on electricity and heat, and then during summer it's a little bit lower. So the power plants, so the hydroelectric power plant made the base load in the north, and the nuclear power plants did the base load in the south, and then this heat power plants did this in between. So now the environmental parties in Sweden have basically, and the socialists have basically banned nuclear powers like in the 80s, so we cannot build any new power plants. In nuclear power plants, and like 10 years ago they started to hit these heat power plants also with some different taxes. So we have no power. So they try to solve this with like wind turbines and solar panels. The problem is that in Sweden it's winter, and when it's cold during the winter, the wind doesn't blow and the sun doesn't shine. So the power prices go straight through the roof. This will be a really big problem, and this just gets worse every year. So when we have like during the fall, we don't need so much power. It's a lot of winding. We have negative power price. So actually you get paid to use electricity because we have so much wind turbines. And during winters, when everybody needs electricity, the electricity go through the roof. It's really insane prices sometimes. I heard about people up in the north, like this winter, they had like $1,500, $2,000 in electric bill for 1 month, and that's in Sweden. It's a lot. It's like 60-70% of their housing costs for only 1 month. So this will be a problem. And this problem will also go to our works, because bigger business cannot do this. So our power plants and our steel plants cannot be efficient anymore. So I think this will be all for today, and I will give you a new update in about a week in what's happening. Thank you. See you next time.